welcome to It's Tomorrow News. I am Hena Talati. Tornadoes, snowstorm and floods sweep parts of United States. Increasing cold conditions have swept the western parts of the United States this week, while the tornadoes and flooding have inundated the eastern areas. An area of low pressure named Storm Finn tracked northeast from Texas towards the east coast early this week. As a result, tornadoes hit southeastern states, at least 12 of which were in Florida, and caused significant damage to many homes. States in the northeast experienced the worst of the flooding, which left hundreds of thousands of the homes without power and more than 1,000 flights cancelled. The rain gave away the snow in more mountainous and northern areas, bringing blizzards and strong winds. Unsettled conditions are expected to continue in the eastern states, as another area of the low pressure currently over the central southern states is forecast to track in similar direction to Finn and bring further rain and snow. Thunderstorms triggered tornado warnings in Arkansas, but there were no reports of funnels touching the ground. The Storm Prediction Center received around 100 reports of hail and gusty winds from Texas through Mississippi. So far, half the days of January have had some type of severe weather threat outlined over the lower 48 in United States. An active start of the year's severe weather season does not indicate that the entire year will remain active. El Nino weather patterns are known to produce severe weather outbreaks across the Florida and parts of the South during the winter months. A major winter storm has unleashed icy winds and heavy snowfall across large parts of United States, disrupting travel and leaving thousands without power. An intense blast of cold weather, a bomb cyclone, is expected across the United States into the weekend and early next week. Nearly every state across the lower 48 had some form of weather warnings today. By late tonight, high wind warnings or wind advisories affected around 120 million people, and the winter storm warnings or advisories affected around 48 million. More than 5 million were under the blizzard warnings. At least 2 deaths have been connected to the severe weather. This marks the first significant Arctic outbreak of the winter and is expected to move from the northern Rockies and plains farther south and east through Midwest. By tomorrow morning, temperatures in the -20s Fahrenheit, -30s and low as -40 are forecast for the northern plains, and some areas could see records broken. Temperatures for the first in the nation Iowa caucuses Monday are said to be the coldest in modern history, with the forecast high of around 0 degrees in Des Moines. As the cold air moves eastward, it is very likely that the parts of United States would see record low temperatures, especially in Montana and Dakotas. Wind chill warnings ranging from -55 degrees Fahrenheit to 35 degrees Fahrenheit have been issued across the Northwest from Washington to North Dakota and down to Nebraska and Kansas. In northern Missouri, wind chills up to 35 degrees below zero were predicted, along with the 2 to 4 inches of the snow and the wind gust up to 45 miles per hour. Those cold chills could cause the frostbite on exposed skin in as little as 10 minutes, NWS warned. We call it a life-threatening for a reason, a local Missouri branch of the service wrote on X, formerly Twitter. Take it seriously. This kind of cold does not happen very often. The storms will be followed by the bitter cold Arctic chill into the weekend with the temperatures dipping near minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas. Forecasters have called it a life-threatening winter weather. The National Weather Service has issued weather alerts in nearly every state as snow is in forecast into the Saturday from as far as west as Oregon to as far as Maine. More than 70 million people are under winter weather alerts. That storm system is expected to eventually move northeast into Canada, impacting parts of Ontario and Quebec. Southern states in United States will also get their own mix of snow, sleet and freezing rain into the weekend and concentrated in the eastern Oklahoma, northern Mississippi and western Tennessee. In the parts of Texas, the NWS issued a wind chill watch through Saturday and warned of the hypothermia and frostbite. It predicted a wind chills that could drop to minus 25 degrees Fahrenheit. At the heel of the storms will be bone-chilling cold Arctic front that is already being felt in western Canada, where temperatures with the wind chill in the near Whistler, British Columbia dipped around minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Alberta is forecast to hit its coldest day in more than 50 years, with the Environment Canada warning that the mercury might hit minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. The bitter cold has already caused a series of the disruptions, including flight cancellation out of the Calgary and shutdown of an air handling system at the hospital in the Edmonton, causing patients at the emergency department to temporarily relocate. The polar vortex bringing freezing conditions to the parts of the province originates in the North Pole, meaning that the freezing air you are feeling on your face is quite literally from the Arctic. The polar vortexes are large area of the low pressure and cold air high in the atmosphere that constantly swirl around both the North Pole and the South Pole. Closer to the surface, these vortexes are surrounded by the polar jet streams, relatively narrow, rapid streams of the wind in the upper atmosphere that encircle the poles and usually keep the cold air trapped. But every couple of years, the polar vortex is disrupted, splitting into the multiple lobes that extend south. That disruption also causes the polar jet stream to weaken, which can help push and hold the freezing air over the parts of Canada and United States. That's all for now. For more news updates, stay tuned with us. It's Tomorrow News. For more global weather updates like this, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for regular updates.